Hello, good afternoon, and welcome once again to this important session. My name is Joseph Tolua, and I welcome you once again. This afternoon, we are going to be considering a very important issue, the issue of depression. Depression is very important. We need to consider it because its effect has is really causing a lot of harm in our society. A lot of persons are killing themselves as a result of depression. A lot of persons are committing suicide as a result of depression. And so it has become very important for us to look at this topic and see how God can help us, to overcome this menace that has taken charge in our society. Now, the first thing I would like us to understand is that depressions are real. Yes, depression are real, and another possibility, another thing we need to understand is that it is possible to get depressed. It is possible to get depressed, and there are a whole lot of factors that lead to depression. Number one, failure leads to depression. Number two, disappointments leads to depression. Number three, challenges leads to depression. Okay, they lead to depression. A whole lot of persons have been depressed and commit suicide because they failed. A whole lot of persons have been depressed and ended up killing themselves because they were disappointed. Okay, so and a whole lot of persons get depressed and eventually kill themselves because of financial challenges. A whole lot of persons are depressed because of family trouble and a whole lot of things. So now the reason why we are not talking about suicide in itself is that something leads to suicide, and before a person consider suicide, the person the person definitely will have battled with depression, and that is why we are handling depression this afternoon. Now, what is depression? Let me quickly read from what I penned down. Depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. It affects how you feel, think, and behave, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems. Yeah, it's a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness. One of the things that is very common with a person that is battling depression is that they are sad. A person that is happy cannot be depressed. Do you understand? So, like I said, that these is as a result of a whole lot of factors, a whole lot of things, that a person has, been battling with. It might be as a result of even loss of job. Okay, it might be as a result of financial challenges. It might also be as a result of heartbreaks, disappointments, and even family trouble can lead to depression. Okay, and when a person is depressed, the person will be sad, the person will not be happy, and it can lead to a whole lot of physical and emotional problem. Now, let's get straight to it that challenges are common. Yes, challenges are common. There is no one that is not going through challenges, and your own challenge is not peculiar. Yes, the reason why I said so is that your the challenges you are passing through, you're not the only one that is passing through that challenge. A whole lot of person might be passing through or are definitely passing through such kind of challenges, and they are getting out of it. That is another truth we need to understand, that people are also getting out of challenges. So that you are depressed does not mean everyone that is going through that same challenge are depressed. It means that you are not prepared for it, and you are unable to handle that challenge, and that is why you are depressed. Do you get it now? So let's get it straight. Now, it's also very important for us to know that for depression not to happen, we need to learn how not to even allow depression to happen in the first place. Yes, because it is possible not to be depressed. It is very, very possible not to be depressed. The same thing that Mr. A is passing through and is depressed, Mr. B is passing through it and is not depressed. Okay, so it is possible not to be depressed. Depression is not the outcome of every difficult challenges. Yes. It simply means that you are unable to handle that challenge, or you have allowed that challenge to affect you negatively to the extent that depression has now set in. Now, how do I handle situation, or how do I live that it will become impossible to be depressed? Number one, do not expect so much from a people or a system. Do not expect so much from a people or a system. Now, like I said earlier on, that people are battling with depression because either they get disappointed, they get heartbroken, they failed, they are passing through financial challenges, unable to meet up with their financial obligations, they are unable to live well, and a whole lot of things. So now, you don't expect so much from a person or from a system. If you place a high expectation on a system, what happens when that system fails? A whole lot of persons, have been depressed or undergoing depression because the business they invested in failed. That is it. A whole lot of persons are undergoing depression because their marriage is failing, and they never expected their marriage to fail. That is why I say that you don't expect so much from a person or from a system or from an institution. When you don't expect so much from a person, it will be difficult for the resultant effects of their negative influence on your life. It will be very difficult for you. You'll be able to manage it. But when you expect so much, you don't expect a system to fail, you don't expect a person to fail, you don't expect an institution to fail. No. Expect it. Plan for it. Yes. It will save you so much, because you don't have a backup plan of what if this thing fails? What if this marriage is not working according to plan? There are many persons that, they are in marriage today, and before they went into that marriage, they've written a whole lot of things, a whole lot of expectation. I want the marriage to be like this, I want the man to be like this, I want the man to be like that. Now, what happens when the man is not like this and like that? Depression sets in. You become you become unhappy, and then before you know it, depression, a whole lot of medical issues, health issues sets in. Now, don't expect so much from people. Are you in school? See, let me say this, that failure is not absolute. Actually, in failure you will learn. Now, a lot of persons don't learn from failure. A lot of persons don't know that failure is a great teacher. A lot of persons don't know. People just see the negative side of failure. They don't consider the positive side of failure. Now, let me say this, that you fail does not mean that you are not good at that thing, or that you are failing in a thing does not mean that that particular thing is not meant for you. It is just it only means that you have not, or you do not have the technology via which that thing is going to work out. Yes. Take for instance, okay, let me say this, that there are some, I've failed before. Yes, I've failed before. Yes, even in my academics, I didn't expect, my first time in school, I the result I got at the end of the semester wasn't what I expected. But I told myself that I am going to perform better in the next semester, and I performed better, far better than my first result. Do you get it now? Now, a lot of persons don't plan for failure. What if I fail at this thing? You don't just go into something and the only thing you are expecting is success. I must succeed in this thing. You also consider, what if this thing does not work out well? Am I saying we shouldn't be optimistic? We should be optimistic. We should expect success in what we are doing. That means we are serious and we are sure of what we are doing. But at the same time, there are certain factors that could lead to failure in that marriage. There are certain factors that could lead to failure in that relationship. There are certain factors that could lead to failure in that business. How are you planning to handle it? How are you planning to handle it? Don't just plan for your success. Also plan for failure. What if I fail? Now, the reason why a lot of persons are depressed is because they never had a backup plan for failure, for disappointment. They never. All they are just expecting is for them to be treated nice, for the guy to treat them nice, for the guys not to cheat on them, for the lady to not to cheat on them, for the marriage to work, heaven on earth marriage. Maybe they've heard a lot of messages, heaven on earth marriage, your marriage can be this, your marriage can be that, your marriage is this, marriage is that. And by the time they get into the marriage, because of so much expectation, no, you don't live your life like that. You don't plan your life like that. You don't live your life like that. Also plan, what if I fail? Now, the reason is because people who don't have this backup plan, that what if this relationship fail? What if this business fail? They are the one that usually get depressed. That's the truth. Because they got to tell you they are tired. They might have even done it 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times, and they still get the same result. They failed. So it gets to a time that they can no longer handle it. They can no longer handle it, and before you know it, they get depressed. So you must learn to handle it. Challenges are not peculiar to you. Challenges are common. Everyone you see today, no matter how smiling no matter how you see their beautiful faces, they are smiling, they are laughing, they are up and doing, they might be battling some issues underground that you are not aware of, and they are handling it well. So you must develop a technology to handle your own downs. There are ups and downs. Life is all about ups and downs. You are up today, you are happy, but tomorrow it is possible you are down. How are you handling that one? How are you handling that one? Many of us just wake up and just expect success. It doesn't work out like that. Before you get success, many times you fail. Many times you fail. Yes. Many times you fail. So how do you handle that failure? How do you handle it? So don't expect so much. Don't put your hope so much. A lot of persons will just, we just place their whole life on a person. No. People can fail. People do fail. System can fail. Systems do fail. Institution can fail. Institutions do fail. Do you get it now? So don't live your life with so much expectation on people. I say, you say, I never expected that he would treat me like this. I never expected that she would treat me like this. Oh, I'm so disappointed. Yes, that's because you have forgotten that they are just men. You have forgotten that she's still a man. You have forgotten that he's still a man. You have forgotten. You have forgotten that these systems, the system that you are part of was created by man. You have forgotten that this institution that you are talking about, the activities of the institutions are being run by men. So, what now happens when these men or this institution or this system failed and collapsed? What happened? Will it also affect your life? Does it mean your life depends on this man? Does it mean your life depends on this lady? Does it mean that this marriage is about your life? Does it mean that if you take away this marriage, then you don't have a life? Does it mean that if this business go, you don't have a life? Does it mean that if this institution fail, you don't have a life? Does it mean that if you fail this professional exam, you don't have a life? Is that how your whole life we just go down because of these things? No, it ought not to be like that. Your life should continue irrespective of anything. There is nothing that is big enough to crumble your life. There is nothing that is big enough to end your life. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So don't expect too much from a system. Don't expect too much from a person. The reason why you are disappointed is because you expect so much from the person. Because if you don't expect so much, you will not be disappointed. In fact, you will be expecting that this person, there is a possibility for this person to misbehave. Don't treat people as angels or like an angel. No. No matter how good a person has treated you, no matter how good, how kind a person is, it is possible for that same person to hurt you. A lot of persons are depressed, are going through depression because of abuse. They are product of abuse. Some were physically abused, some were sexually abused, some were emotionally abused, some are product of domestic violence, and because of that, they are depressed. Because of that, they are shattered. Because of that, they are battered. No, don't allow what a man can do to end your life. Don't allow it. Don't allow what a man can do to put an end to the beautiful life that God has given you to live. Don't allow it. Don't allow the action of a person to end your life. Don't allow it. Don't allow the action of a person to make you not to live your life to its fullest. Don't allow it. Don't allow depression because of what somebody has done. Don't allow it. And the only way for you not to allow that is when you don't put your whole hope on a man. The only personality that cannot hurt us, the only personality that cannot disappoint us is God. That's the only personality. Every other person can hurt us. Every other person can disappoint us. Every other person can treat us bad. The only person that cannot treat us bad is God. And that is the only person you should put your whole hope and trust on, not a man. I'm not saying you should not trust a person. No. Trust people. as a matter of fact, you need to trust someone. You need to trust someone, but at the same time, while you are trusting someone, don't expect so much from the person. I trust you, but I will not be surprised if you disappoint me. I trust you, but I will not be surprised if you hurt me. I trust you, but I will not be surprised if you disappoint me. I trust you, but I will not be surprised if one day you abuse me. Do you understand? So when you are so prepared about this, it will be difficult for you to get depressed. Just make up your mind that these are human beings. Just make up your mind that this is a system. Just make up your mind that this is an institution. There is a possibility for them to fail me. And so my whole life will not depend on them. I must move on, irrespective of what happens to my life. I must move on. They cannot determine my life. I am not on this earth to live on a product of their decision. No, I am on this earth to live and to fulfill God's purpose for my life, irrespective of what might happen. So, when people fail, I move on. It is people that have failed, not me. It is the people that you trust that have failed, not you. You have not failed. It is the people that has failed you. So, all you need to do is to move on with your life. Don't allow depression to set in, because they are not angels. They are still men. Do you understand? Now, the reason is because life is all about relationship. No one is single. No one is alone. You have friends. You have wife. You have a wife. You have a husband. You have a mother. You have a sister. You have a brother. So you have a pastor. You have church members. You are surrounded with people, and their actions can affect your life positively and negatively. It takes a man to rise. It also takes a man to fall. I think you will make a decision that I will only rise by a man, by the action of men in my life. I will never allow the action of the people in my life to bring me down. No. And you will only achieve that if you don't put your whole hope on them. You only achieve that if you don't trust them to the extent that you don't expect them to fail. No. Expect people to fail because they are men. Because there could be a lot of factors that is beyond their power. And when it's beyond their power, they fail. So you must expect it. You must expect it. Not to expect it is failure in itself. You must expect it. You must expect it. When I'm going into a relationship with anybody, either business relationship, anything, I have it at the back of my mind that whatever happens in this business, I will not be affected. I might be affected, not quite, of course, that's quite alright. I might be affected, but my life must move on. My life will not be affected. My life must move on, because I am not putting my life into this business. It is me that is doing the business, not my life. My life is innocent. My life was given to me by God, and I must treasure it, and I must love my life. I love my life. Do you understand? So, even if you are battling with sickness that is defiling medical solution, please take note that God is there for you, and God will come through for you. So don't allow anything to affect you to the extent that you are considering taking your life, or that you have become depressed. And when you are depressed, a whole lot of things begin to set in. Your thoughts, suicidal thoughts will be setting. All right. So take this to heart. Your life must move on. Don't expect too much from people, from a system, from an institution. All right. And this is very important. I would like to end this session here. You can leave your question. You can call me. You can chat me up on WhatsApp on 070-366-85195. 070-366-85195. You can ask your question. You can ask your questions whatsoever that is bothering you, or are you currently depressed? You can talk it out with me. In my next video, I'm going to be teaching us how to really overcome depression. This one is talking about how not to even get depressed. Like I said, there is a possibility. The possibility of us not getting depressed are very high. It is possible not to be depressed at all, despite the challenges. It is possible. It is possible. The challenges that is making some person to be depressed is not even up to it. The challenge that many other persons have gone through without being depressed. Do you understand? So that you are depressed does not mean your challenges is the climax. It means you have not developed strategy not to even get depressed in the first place. And that is what I'm teaching us tonight. It is possible not to be depressed. Don't give in to depression. Don't allow depression. Don't place your life on people. Don't expect too much. When you are disappointed, tell yourself, that's not the end of my life. I am moving on. Expect it in itself. Expect disappointment from people because they are human beings. They are not perfect. So I'll see you in my next video on how not to even get depressed at all. Remember to subscribe to this channel, share this video. It will help a lot of persons. There are thousands of persons there battling depression. Be a channel of their recovery. Send this video to as many persons as possible. Share it on your social media platforms. Share it on WhatsApp to people. Share it and subscribe to this channel. And God bless you as you do so. I'll see you in my next video. Once again, my name is Joseph Toluwa. Feel free to call me. Feel free to chat me up. 070-366-85195. God bless you and see you in my next video.